right, we are ready to start insulating the van. So we got this Insulate here, and so I'm going to open it because I think it has to like rise, if you will, expand a little bit before we can start insulating. We're going to start with the overhead above the driver seat and the passenger seat, and that's where we're going to start so we can put the van back together. And yeah, let's get started.
Here we are about to insulate the bulkhead, and so a few things have to go on. We have started letting the Insulate insulation poof out to its normal size. Three, two, one. Cue the helicopters landing in our backyard. Stupid. All right, we're putting up the insulation. Pretty easy stuff. Measure the area you're gonna do it, and then cut it. What should you cut it with? You could use a lot of different things. You could probably get away with using a box cutter. Scissors is probably better. A huge pair of scissors like this is definitely best. It will slice through something like the Insulate. Incredibly easy. I think these are intended for cutting plastics and stuff. It's from a company called Klein Tools, US company, not too expensive, but worth the investment for the time you'll save cutting your insulation. It definitely makes for a quicker job. Will you hand me the box cutter?
This box cutter?
That box cutter. No.
The actual box cutter?
Still recording?
Yeah. I want to be in it too. Okay, I'll just stand this here.
Put your butt cheeks over there.
Scoot back over. Scoot over a little bit. There.
So the insulation is done. I'm going to put back the pieces of the interior, but I had a moment to pause in wondering whether or not I should vapor barrier the part that I insulated. We're not going to, just because it would be really difficult. There's so many concave in and outs, and all of the interior pieces fit back through just a ton of tiny little screw areas. But there's also just not really any information out there about it. Everything I find is just, yeah, you need to install a vapor barrier in your van. Yes, you should insulate your van, nothing specifically about the bulkhead. We chose to sound deaden the bulkhead and to insulate the bulkhead, but we're not going to vapor barrier the bulkhead because we think it has enough open spots that, unlike the walls that'll be almost sealed with very little area for moisture to get out of if it forms, with this there's a lot of air gaps, and so I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
We're gonna take the easy route and just elect not to. It wasn't an overly intensive process to get this up there in the first place, so if we notice moisture is forming, you know, I guess we'll vapor barrier as a reactionary measure.
We just don't want to overcomplicate anything that doesn't need to be overcomplicated, so that's what we're doing.
Anyway, love to know if anyone else out there has experience with this. Did you vapor barrier your bulkhead? Did you insulate your bulkhead? Did you just seal off the driving cab from the living quarters? Let us know. We would love to see what other people are doing. There just isn't a lot out there on it. I am not 100% sure. There are, I guess, 3 tan ones that go on the other side. I'm not doing
Well, I think those are supposed to go behind the screws, maybe?
Yeah, probably. It's in there nice and firm.
That's fine.
Now that there's all that insulation.
I'm past accuracy. And thus concludes insulating the bulkhead.
All right, heading out, back to Betty. Have a couple of things I need to do. Going to insulate the sliding door. Then I'm going to reinstall the factory vapor barrier and the factory plywood paneling. So heading out to do that now. See you there. All right. Did it. The job's done. The door has been insulated, sound deadened, reassembled. Now looks like it did from the factory, although much improved. And it has now a very Mercedes S-Class thunk rather than a tin can tink like it did before. So all good things. I'm glad the job is done. I'm glad I don't have to do it again. And now I guess it's on to the rest of it.